Okay. So I'm here today at the Huntsville Public Library with Linda Broussard, Milford Hawkins, and Dr. Littlejohn. And so I just wanted to start out today talking about the Hey You movement and find out a little bit about what it was like for y'all growing up in Huntsville. So how would you describe your childhood experience in Huntsville?
Well, well, it was something else. It was well, the, how we got involved with it. Back then, we were raised in an area of Gospel Hill where we were raised to respect grown folk and care about people all the time. We knew everybody in the neighborhood. This is my first cousin. Our mothers were sisters. We lived down the road from each other. And every time we go down the house, the people sitting on top of the grown folk, I have to speak to them all day long, every day. They it's just somebody we care about people, think about people, and taking care of people. But those same folk we respected so much, respect those grown folk all the time. But when we come to town, they were treated differently. They were disrespected. They couldn't go in the front door. They couldn't go into places, and it was hard to understand it. I think I didn't know what to think about that. It was just tough. All the people we looked up to, we respected, and they come to town to be
treated like like they
treated so
were
bad.
a boy,
We were taught our, our parents. They always did something good. Joe, 19th Joe, they would kill a hog and barbecue just let anybody could get some food. Just care about people. We were always taught to care about people and respect people. And, like I said, that was tough. And then back in right before we got us about 64, late 64, got out of finished the 10th grade. 10th grade, I think it was, whatever it was. We heard that Dr. Martin Luther King was trying to make a change about different things, open the doors and to take away that disrespect and just we thought I heard that they were going to do something. They were trying to do something else down in the southern part of the United States. And then that summer we heard that he was going to send someone here to Huntsville to see if anybody want to stand up and make a difference. And that's like I thought. They asked my father could I go. He said I really believe in it. Go. And that's how we got started. We got started. We got started going to all across Huntsville, all across town. Mr. Kermit and Mr. and Mrs. Kermit Davis, they had a building over there. That let's use that building to have a meetings and stuff. And that's how I got started in. And we just got together and they told us that it could be dangerous, it could be hurtful, it could be disrespectful, but somebody need to do something about it. Open the doors. The school was segregated, and like I say, our seniors they couldn't go in the front door of the stores and stuff. Mm-hmm. It's just different, And people I looked up to all my life, they go to town. It was just terrible. But that's how we got started. It wasn't about hate. It was about caring about people, about wanting the best for everybody. That's how we got started. How I got started.
So. Yeah, we grew up, like you said, on Gospel Hill.
Yes.
And his mother, we're first cousins. As a matter of fact, he's 2 weeks older than I am. Oh. So, like you said, everybody on Gospel Hill, everybody knew each other, and we were taught to respect our elders, and care about each other, and so we all grew up like sisters and brothers, the family and all this. My auntie was involved in it too. She was a year older than we were. She's passed away now. But all three of us got involved, But on Gospel Hill, where we were raised up, our parents taught us responsibility. Like we had gardens. His daddy had hogs and everything. So they all got together. We worked in the gardens, before school and when we get out of school, my sisters and my brothers. And we would go up to Hawkins' house and, my daddy would help his daddy, kill hogs and all this and for the whole family and all this. So just, we were just brought up, to be there for one another and just, respectful and everything. Our parents did the best they could with us and they taught us, because like I'm saying this because like when we got involved with the Hey You movement, a lot of other parents stopped said we were bad kids.
Mhm.
You know, we were not bad kids. We saw what was going on and everything, couldn't understand it because, like I said, when my grandmother was working for this white man, he would come pick us up. We'd be all out in the yard playing, the children, and he would come pick her up to go to work. He's the only one in the car driving, but my grandmother got in the back seat. And I, like I said, you see, I never forgot it. I couldn't understand that. You know, that to us, it was like everybody was the same. Everybody was, there was no difference, and I couldn't understand that, And when my grandmother and my mother went to work, they had to go, because I went with my mother a couple of times, had to go through the back door, go through the back door of that house. But my mother and my grandmother was cooking their food, raising their kids. Why do we have to go through the back door?
What were your parents' names?
My mother's name was Johnny May, maiden name James, Johnny May James. But when she married my father, was Johnny May Mays, and my daddy's name was Edward Mays Jr. Okay. So my maiden name is Mays, Linda Mays. Yeah.
And Mr. Hawkins, what were your parents?
My name is Mr. Cecil Hawkins. My mother, Mrs. Roberta Jane, she was Mrs. Roberta Hawkins. They were sisters, and they talked nothing about disliking. About disliking people. They like what people do, but not disliking people. There's nothing about hate. Nothing about that. I remember one time when I stole my father. It was something. We raised, like I say, raised hogs. Went to get some feed in a store. There's a little kid working behind the counter, like my age, little kid, and a grown person. And the kid waiting on my father and gave me the change. Said, "Anything you want else? Anything else you want, boy?" I looked at the grown man. I thought the grown man was gonna say something to me. He didn't say anything about it. I couldn't understand it. We didn't go in the store anymore. Just anything else you want, boy. I was shocked, but I'll never forget that. It's just some things that, like I say, it was nothing about hate. It was about caring about people, about everybody, and want everybody to be right. I know right now that's good and bad in all kind of jobs, all kind of it's just all kind of races are good and bad. We have to work with the good to make this world a better place. You have to work with the better.
And like he said, when we would go to town, like on Saturdays, our parents would put us on the back of, we'd ride on the back of the truck, whatever, go to town. And we'd walk by, there was a grocery store, but there was a restaurant, a couple of restaurants, Texan Cafe and Raven, right, were there. And what was that grocery store that was, it's been gone, but we would see people, women, men with their kids, families in the restaurants eating and everything, but we couldn't go in. We couldn't go in there and eat. I couldn't understand that. We couldn't go in there and eat.
Did y'all go down to the drag? Was that a common place that you went? Okay.
Yep. That's right, the drag. Because that was where black people would hang out. Barber shops, beauty shops, grocery stores, That's where everybody black would go, hang out on Saturdays and come to town and do their shopping and everything,
Something else. I mean, that's different. It was way different.
Yeah, and the theaters.
They use the same money that everybody else would have can come to the front door. Like Dairy Queen or different places. That place right there on anyway, I can't think of the name of it, but everybody's go to the front. We had to go to the side to order food. It was just different. Use the same money.
And we had to go. We couldn't go through the front door to go to the theater. And we had to go around to the side door to go in the theater.
Even around the courthouse, I
was about to say the courthouse. Had a fountain, whites only, and another fountain, blacks.
And the restroom run black run. It's just different.
Now, did you all go to Samuel Walker Houston High School, or where did you all go to high school?
Yes.
Samuel Walker Houston. Okay.
Yes, we did, and that's it was all blacks, and so when they started integrating, they got our principal.
Mr. Howard.
Yeah, Mr. Howard. they came in. Our principal was no longer our principal. They put a white man there. They took a lot of our teachers. But did any of them go to the white school?
The summer of 1965 when school started, that's the only change they made. They brought in a white principal, our principal, and we were always kind of nervous about our principal. We were crazy about him. I was shocked to see him make an assistant.
What was his name?
Percy Howard.
Oh, Percy Howard. Okay.
Yeah. But anyway, I remember once when Dr. King was sending people here to do something about that, make a change in that summer of 65. And we started with the school also.
Started with the school.
And I remember we were out in front of the school one time, and when the police came, they locked us up with Sister Reed, Ethel Reed.
Our aunt.
Our aunt, she was our classmate also, but these cars just drove it to the car.
Because we would have signs and we would be protesting. We had signs, we'd march up and down the hall and everything, and I think that was the first time we went to jail, from the high school. They arrested us and took us to jail.
It was something else.
And we were about 15, 14, 15. Took us to jail.
At the high school, they arrested you.
Yes.
And what were you protesting?
We wanted. It was just a little change of thinking. See, the rule that the law that passed by had desegregated schools. All that had was just had a white principal and a couple of white teachers, but there was nothing else to change. We were there to make a difference. We had been the whole summer just about starting to make a difference around town. I remember one of the first things we went to was the grocery store right down the street from the jailhouse. We got out. We went down in a car, got out with a sign, getting the sign together, and then there was a white man got up, drove up, got out of his car with a big long gun, walked up there, and Mr. Vera dog was standing up there in front, and put the gun up on like this here. And we were taught not hate but talk love. And she stood real tall at the gun right, but she said, "We love you, brother." That man stood like this here. He said, "We love you, brother." Put the gun down and walked away, got in the car and left. That kind of stuff happened when we would go to jail.
We went to jail so many times.
Mr. Ade Baggett's restaurant, we went to that place, and we would go to the front door and walk around and get around.
Each one of us would ask for entrance.
I heard some noise behind me. I turned around and looked, and there was a man with a big knife in his hand like this. He had hit Max Shaw in the head with the knife. He was talking about what he gonna do to us. Because we were children, we were kids, you know. And one lady threw a cigarette and wanted to give us hair.
Smoking cigarette, just threw it, and they would throw drinks on us. They'd spit on us.
They talked to give us, put the knife away, but they didn't lock him up, but they locked us up. Like that man with that gun, they let him go, but they locked us up. We were right down the street from the jail. You know,
now, where did the conflict that you're talking about happen where you asked to go into the restaurant and
Texan Cafe and Raven Cafe?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Each one of us, there would be a line of us,
Yes,
and we'd have our signs. And
the
when they turn one of us down and say, "No, you can't come in here," that person would go on around to the inner line, and the next person would come to the door and ask to be let in. And that's what we did. Just kept doing that.
The movie theater the same way.
In the theater.
The movie theater, we couldn't go in the front. We had to go up the back of
and go up on the second floor. We couldn't sit where we want to sit. White people sit down at the bottom, below, and we had to go up to the top.
And this was in, say, July of 1965?
65, July, August, and then
Okay.
So after school started, when we got going with one day, I remember the first time we went to jail. It was tough, you know, just that job, going to jail, and we were up to the jailhouse up on top.
It was like a two-story.
You really couldn't see them. It was tough, and some of the people were just upset, you know, but we were all in there, just not that many of us. But after a while, we hear some noise. That's how people were saying we should overcome.
Our parents.
We couldn't really understand, but our family be out there, and they would give me the strength and courage to keep going. It was something else. It was
each time we went to jail, our parents said, "Oh, we look out the window, and there was a crowd, a whole lot of them down there singing and chanting, and you know." And each time we went, our also had some lawyers, you know, attorneys. The Southern Christian Leadership, what was the name of it? And they all, you know, they had their own attorneys and everything, so they fought for us. Each time we went to jail, we'd get back out. They'd get us back out. and we go, to the same place or to the next place and protest with our signs and chanting and singing and
Just
trying
marching.
to enter, and everything. They would turn us down and everything. So after about the 5th or 6th time we went to jail, they had gotten together and tried to decide what to do with us because they saw that each time we got out, we went right back, because we were trying to make a difference, a change, that it wasn't right. And so they decided that they would sneak us off one morning before day and take us. There were about 9 of us in jail this time.
Young high school students.
Milford, my brother, myself, our aunt, and there were 6 girls and 3 boys, right? They sneaked us off, put us in police cars, handcuffed us and put us in police cars,
We didn't know
and
where
took us to reform school. We didn't know where we were going. Our parents didn't know. Our parents didn't know. Nobody was notified. They took us to reform school.
And how old were you?
15.
15.
But they just came and got myself and Robert
We didn't know
and my
where we were going.
classmate Eddie Mitchell, and they just took us downstairs, put us in the back seat of a car, and handcuffed us on together like this, and just took off. We didn't know where we were going.
We were scared to death. We were scared to death. We didn't know what they were going to do with us, where they were taking us.
We hear about the old hospital and just rode. We rode.
Somebody happened to see us and told our parents that they saw us in police cars and they were taking us somewhere.
We just rode. We saw a sign.
We didn't know where we were going until we saw the sign.
I saw a sign that said Gatesville, so many miles. I said, we're going to Gatesville.
Yeah.
They said, no. And we got in the city of Gatesville, and they stopped at a service station, found a service station, took our handcuffs, briefed each other like this, and then just individually handcuffed, and this individual went and got a candy bar and brought it to us. I got a big old candy bar, and they took us to that prison.
And when that morning when they was putting us in the car, had us handcuffed and everything, and our aunt, they had twisted her arm behind her back, and she was saying that it was hurting or something. And I said something about it. I said, "You're hurting my aunt," or something like that. And during that time, Bruno was putting me down in the back seat, and he kicked me in my chest with those pointed-toed boots. That hurt me so bad. Ooh, that hurt. He kicked me as hard. He told me to get, and when I got to reform school, when we got there, and I told the doctors what had happened, and they said, "Oh, you'll be all right." My chest was hurting, Sure did. I never did forget that, and I never will, how that man kicked me in my chest.
What was his name, Bruno?
Bruno? What was Bruno's?
Bruno.
Paul Bruno.
Paul Bruno.
Yeah, he was a highway patrolman, wasn't he?
And did y'all go before Amos Gates then? The judge?
I don't remember.
Yeah.
I don't know if we went. A few of them might have.
Okay.
Did you go? You and Robert or any of them go? Because I don't remember going before Judge Gates.
I remember. But they usually put us all in the men on one side of the jail and the little film. That day before they sent us to Gatesville, they put us on the front of that. We could see down the ground. And I saw Judge Gates walking out. I looking down, walking out. He said, "I don't care what you do." I know. I heard him say that. I kind of went.
What they do with us.
It was a prison. Yes, that's sister Ella Reed said she had a toothache over there. And when she got the women in prison, the reform school, and I said they just put it down and locked her down in the seat and just snatched the tooth out. No kind of medication.
Yeah.
So who was your aunt? Just so we have her name on record.
Ethel Reed.
Ethel Reed. Okay.
Yeah, she really got us off.
Okay.
We were all
Yes.
like sister and brother. We started out in first grade together.
Yeah.
Milford, myself, and our aunt.
Yeah,
Ethel Reed.
Could you hold that up just for the camera? This is a proclamation issued by the city of Huntsville in 2015, recognizing the Hayu movement on the 50th anniversary of their fight for freedom. So, and signed by Mayor Mac Woodward. So, a recognition of what you did to change the city of Huntsville. I mean,
That's awesome.
it's great. So, what happened to you at reform school? I mean, how long were you there? And what?
Oh Lord, when I got to reform school, I knew about guys, but I didn't know that girls were, we could say gay now. Man, got to reform school, it scared me to death. I saw girls kissing, getting in the bed with each other and everything, and one of them asked me if I would be the girlfriend. The first night I was there, and I was afraid to close my eyes. Oh, I was scared to death. Now that's what really scared me, you know. Yeah, boy. I wasn't used to anything like that, you know. And my aunt and my cousin here, we knew from some guys that grew up on Gospel Hill, we knew sign language, you know, alphabet A, B, C, you know, like that and everything. So that's how we would communicate. They separated each one of us when we got to, you know, reform school. But that's how we communicate, you know, be strong and all this, you know, my aunt and I, you know, and when we would see each other, you know, we would, you know, communicate like that and everything, you know, but they separated us. We lived in different cottages, you know, and now that's when I was scared. I was scared then, you know. But we went to decided they, you know, chose what class or whatever we were going to take. I took cosmetology, and my aunt did too, so we could see each other and, you know, be around each other and everything. So we stayed over there.
I don't know how long, but I know it's terrible. I know the first night I was there, what they taught us how we should be, the rules and regulations of all that stuff and everything in school. And the first night I had trouble going to sleep. And we were in a big gym. The seats all over the place. You know, not beds all over the place. You know, they taught us how to make beds up and all that kind of stuff. And the first morning I woke up, everybody was standing up already by the bed. I jumped up and made my bed up and got it up and headed. They had to make it real tight when you stand up on the edges. I had it. And we stared at him. And the guard would walk down through there and check everything out. When he got to me, he looked up at me. He said, you turn that mattress over? I said, sir, hit me in my stomach. Turn that mattress over. It was terrible, that place.
That's how I learned how to make the bed up too. What is that? Army, military style where you tuck it and you do the corners and stuff. Yeah.
I go to school half a day, and the other half people go to work. But I guess because the way I passed my grade, I just had to go to school half a day, and the other half I was staying in the classroom. So after the second half, they kept myself and a little white kid over there. They told us to clean the room and clean up the floor. And when we clean the floor, we get a rag on each other's hand and crawl around like this and clean the floor. He said, you stay over that way, you stay over that way. No, y'all come together, don't talk. And he left out. As soon as he left out, and the kid made a word about me and wanted to hold a conversation. That man swung open, he came and just kicked that kid all over the place. Just kicked him, and got him and dragging him out and looked back at me and said, clean up in here. It was terrible. That Gatesville thing was terrible. Yes, it was. Yes, I saw another kid that get beaten like that one time. I said he had the same name that God had on. I said he must have beaten him by the name or something. It was just terrible. It was terrible. And when we got ready to leave there one time, well, they called us in the office and told us that we would have to go to court for something. And so we asked him my belongings. He said, no, you come right back. Nobody ever left this area. They drove us all the way to Houston, with the courts in Houston. And the courts in Houston told Huntsville you were wrong for sending us there. They were going to clean off our record and they set us free.
They sent us there indefinitely. You know, we didn't know how long that we were going to be there. It's like we were going to be there for a long time. Yeah.
And nobody ever left this area, but they had to mail us our belongings to us.
So so when you went to Gatesville, do you think you were there for like 4 months or 4 weeks, or I don't really know? Or
no, it wasn't 4 months.
I don't think no.
No, they got us out of there.
Yeah.
You know,
okay.
About 3 or 4 weeks, something like that. I don't think about 3 weeks.
They were
the Gainesville.
Oh, you went to Gainesville for women, and you went to Gatesville. Okay.
Me and my brother.
Let's think something else. Let's think something else.
So when you came back to Huntsville, after you got out in Houston at court, were you in the same court case? I mean, did y'all see each other in courtroom there?
Yeah, when they put us in court in Houston, we walked together and they was all free.
Okay.
It was a shock.
I have some pictures. I thought I had some.
Just so bad. We loaded in the cars and brought us back home. And we went back to work at HUAU.
Okay, and you went right back to it.
Yeah, we sure did.
And the rules started changing. The doors started opening.
This is where our aunt sent, I think Dr. Martin Luther King. Didn't she send him a letter? That's a copy of the letter that she.
And when we got back, shortly after we come back,
This is a letter of December 3rd. Oh man, this is, I hope this is, yeah. This is a letter of December 3rd, 1965 from Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. to Miss Ethel Reed of Huntsville, Texas. We'll make a copy of it and put it on the website. But it's talking about his activities and support.
And one other thing we
Huntsville
did,
Youth Postpone.
one other thing we did, like I said, when we would march from all the way across, from east downtown, all the way across town to downtown, different things. And the local newspaper, they said we're not going, they didn't, you know, they didn't put any kind of coverage on us.
Right.
They-
The
we-
Huntsville
we-
item, you
We
mean?
were doing it for something else. So we took it to Houston. We marched all the way to Houston. We marched to Houston. We stopped at a different city. We slept on a bridge in Conroe. We marched to Houston, then from Houston we went all the way to Austin. And then after we got back, so we don't know what's going on. You know, as a matter of fact, there were 26 young white people, grown white people came from some other town. They came in and stayed in the Raven restaurant. Stayed in they said, they want to read the order and everything like that. They asked him, what y'all doing? He said, let the people know that you open the door for black people. So that's after we, with the Houston and Austin, let the rest of the people came in to work. It was just something. It was a mess. It was tough, but they were worth it. It's worth it.
Did
The doors were open, and you know, the job started opening up. And as a matter of fact, my sister, she got a job at the light company, at the phone company when she got
okay.
when she graduated. So she shop in the truck after that.
Now, when did y'all graduate from Samuel Walker
67,
Houston?
67.
67.
Yeah.
Okay.
I graduated with my class, top 10, the top middle of my class.
Okay. Wow.
But when we went back to school, it was different. All the people we had been together ever since the first grade, they were different. They were standoffish.
Okay.
It was different. But I had to go back to them, you know. Some of my classmates now, they tell me, I can't be that non-violent because somebody do something to me, I'm going to do something back. They talk like that's just an excuse they make for not coming in. Because I know when we got locked up in front of the school and we're leaving, all my classmates, their glasses, they did all like they're looking out at the windows. I remember that all the students just looking out their heads. But they didn't come out and help, they just looking at it. You know.
So there was conflict within, what you're basically saying is then there was conflict within the black community about
Yes.
you all were criticized
Yes.
for your activism.
Like I said, there were 9 of us, out of the whole school, there were 9 of us that was sent off.
Yeah.
There were a lot of stories, like Robert Mills, he was, I remember the first time in jail, and he started crying, he was crying, Mama, come and get me, he didn't come back no more.
Okay.
He was young, so I never forget that.
Yeah.
He was crying, Mama, come get me.
We were like the soldiers.
But at least he did, at least he started. At least he started. He did.
And we knew what needed to be done and what we needed to do.
Yeah, I remember
Well,
that.
he tried, but he couldn't take it. I
Yeah.
mean, and
Doing something
that
else.
happens to people.
We were
I mean,
criticized
Mhm.
by kids and adults.
Yes,
You know,
we
like
did.
I said, they
Uh-huh.
said we were bad. You know, our parents didn't raise us right, didn't teach us right. Yes, they did.
It was something else. It was something else.
Yes, they did.
When we went to
And we
school,
made a difference right here in
it was
Huntsville.
just whole different.
So when you graduated in May of 67, right? I mean, May or June, something like that, spring of 67. So then did you stay in Huntsville or, I mean, that was the height of the Vietnam War, I guess,
Yeah.
too. Did you stay in Huntsville or did you?
I got married.
Yeah, I got married before I got out of school.
I got married and moved to Houston.
She
Okay.
My
became
husband
pregnant.
lived in
And
Houston.
I was taught always to
His
take care of your
family.
responsibilities. I got married right before I got out of school.
Okay.
And with the register for Vietnam and went over to Houston, and they say they put me in class 3 or something. They said, I don't know if I was the only son either had a baby already. I don't know what it was. They just, I went to register when on my 18th birthday.
Mm-hmm.
So all the way down to Houston, but they didn't accept me in.
I think my husband was kind of afraid for me, so he got me out of
Yeah.
Huntsville.
And you all moved to Houston.
Yes.
Okay. And what did you do in Houston? I mean, I guess what my question is, how did the experience of being in Hey You and being kind of a point of conflict, how did that experience change what you did afterwards?
I really didn't do anything. I became a mother, and just mother and wife, and took care of my family. You know, but I guess I've always been kind of, even though
Yeah.
kind of what we say, kind of radical. Just didn't like when I saw what was going on somewhere or something. I've always been, would speak up. Mm-hmm.
And you certainly pass that along to your children, I'm sure. Those lessons.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
they know all about their mother and
Yeah.
what she did here and how she tried to make a difference. And
Well, myself, like I said, we'll get back to school. All people we've been friends all the way from elementary school on. And now they were standoffish, and so when I got out of school, I went for the light company, and I started reading music. I worked by myself, read music all day by myself. I enjoyed that. And I ended up with the man next door, the gas company. He was an older guy, but he was my best friend. We became best friends. He's an older guy. He's still on the same street, Gospel. They're my best friend from they passed. All best friends. Kids, we were on weekends. His kids and his family would come to my house. We would have back and forth all the time. Every evening, we worked right next to each other. The light on the gas company right there on WM, you see. And we'd be together every evening. And our family would come together. Right now, his kids still call me uncle.
What was his name?
Mr. Horace Davidson. He's gone.
Okay.
He's gone now, but he's my best friend. They were older than me. But
Now, was Kermit Davidson his son, or?
who?
No, you're talking about Gerald. He's thinking about Gerald.
Oh, Gerald, no.
No, they might have been related.
Okay.
Gerald and Gerald.
Yeah.
Yeah, they gone. They passed out, but
Okay.
they were
Kermit
their
Davidson.
parents. Their parents didn't have that
Do you
building.
remember B.T. Bonner? We spoke
Yes,
of him.
B.T. Bonner.
This is Judge Gates, Sheriff Floyd Ferris, the one that was locking us up all the time and everything. That's B.T. Bonner.
BT, but I'll leave that.
What do you remember about B.T. Bonner? Could you describe him a little bit?
He was always teaching us that it could be trouble, it could be painful, but if we're standing up, like Dr. King would say, somebody got to stand up, make a difference.
He was calm,
Yes,
like
calm.
a very calm.
You tell us it's not about hate,
Yeah.
it's about standing. We say you're going to be locked up, you might get hurt, but if we're doing it, somebody needs to do it.
Yeah.
Now, question, do you remember, was Mr. Bonner first of all, was he a minister, or was part of the Hey You spirit about Christian movement?
And we had Reverend Boone, right? Reverend Boone.
Yeah,
And they were the older, they started here in Huntsville.
Okay.
Yeah. And we would have meetings in B.T. Bonner and Reverend Boone and some of the others, and there would be different people coming in from other states and stuff,
Not many people, like myself and Robert.
Black and white.
Your brother Robert Mays, we would walk all the way from over there way back home, and sometimes cars come out throw stuff at us. It was nerve-wracking. It was dangerous at the time.
Yeah.
It was always something else. We had to go all from that side of town way back to Gospel. After every meeting, if we didn't got locked, if we wasn't locked up, we would come back home.
So were most of the young people in the movement, did most of them live in Gospel Hill?
No,
they lived
No?
all
over.
town.
Okay.
It was just 4 of us from here.
And did you all attend church in Huntsville?
Yes, Friendship, about 2 people raised up. Our mothers both sang in the choirs.
That's right.
Okay.
We were raised up in how to urge and do everything, how to do everything.
We were brought up in church, baptized in Friendship Church, and on every Easter, Christmas, all the programs and everything. Our parents, did the best they could.
We would walk back and forth to church on
That's
Mondays.
right.
Monday, I think Thursday, two days. We walked for some BYPU or something.
How did the church respond to Hey You, Friendship Baptist? Were they nervous by it? Were
I
they?
don't know, because our parents didn't. My mother was involved.
Mm-hmm.
So if they did, they kept it from us. My mother kept it from us if they did,
Because most of our time, when we got started, our time was trying to make it.
Right.
It was not easy.
Mm-hmm.
That's all my time, all my thoughts, everything. When we make it back home, going back tomorrow. Make it back home, going back tomorrow.
Yep.
It was like a job, but it was consuming, all consuming.
Well, the reason I ask is, so much of what we think about the civil rights movement is it comes out of the churches. And so it's interesting to say basically what you're saying, or what I hear you saying, is that this was, Booker T. Bonner and other ministers from outside were encouraging you to, and as you said, talk about love, not hate. And this was a movement of change. But the churches in Huntsville, for whatever reason, were
I don't think
not.
As a matter of fact, there were some churches that were behind the scenes.
Okay.
They didn't want it out in public.
Mhm.
They backed us by financially and in other ways.
Okay.
We had a meeting or something
Yes,
sometime,
it
and they wouldn't let us talk.
Yeah.
Door locked.
Wouldn't let us go
Okay.
to
Lock the door, let us in.
church, but some church they did.
Okay.
They helped us
They
in
wouldn't let us
the
in.
background.
Okay.
About that, the first part we tried to
Sure
get together with the churches, but they let us in. Yeah, that's right, but they wouldn't let us in.
Well, I tell you what, this has been, fascinating to hear your stories again. And just, it's a pleasure to sit here with two literally living legends from Huntsville who have changed the community in fundamental ways. And I couldn't be more proud to be your friend and associate.
It was really it made me feel good when the sign started coming down,
Right.
Mhm.
the doors started opening, the jobs started opening, people, all that stuff was gone. That's the best thing about it.
We feel good to this day.
Made a difference.
That we made a difference. That
Yes,
we
you did.
did what we
It was something else. It
did.
was something else.
Really.
Couldn't come in the front, look, do
Yeah.
water fountain, bathroom around the back. It was just different.
Mhm.
All of we grew up, they were just treated like that.
We
It
couldn't
was all-
understand. We couldn't understand that. Why?
Mhm.
Not that they had done anything wrong, just because of the color of skin. That was wrong. That was terrible.
I just have one last question.
Okay.
If you had any advice or words of wisdom, what would it be for college students today?
And advice, but we all need to work with like I say, the good and bad in all kinds of places, all kinds of races, all kinds of jobs. And we need to work with the good to make a difference in our world. We need peace. We need peace. The news is always about somebody doing something wrong. It's pitiful. It's pitiful. It's just hard to understand that. They can do some terrible stuff.
Mhm.
And then again, a politician talking crazy, and you tell the kid don't say that. Look at how, look what they saying.
Mhm.
I don't understand how they talk bad. It's all this fighting going on. We need peace.
Mhm.
We need
What
peace.
I would say
We need
is
love. We need peace.
love one another, respect. You gotta respect each other,
Mm-hmm.
and treat people the way you want them to treat
Right.
you, and you'll be all right.
Mhm.
You'll be all right.
Mhm.
Everything will be good.
Mhm.
We need love. We need care.
No
We need
one is
care.
better than the other.
No.
Well, thank you all so much
Yeah,
for
thank you so
taking
much.
the time
Thank you.
today. I'm gonna.
Thank you.